56 seconds. That's all it took for 12-year-old Emma Nelid to be paralyzed forever. What started as a fun, thrilling adventure in the magical realm of Gulliver's world took a drastic turn that would change the course of this poor girl's life forever. But what happened that fateful day? How could a harmless roller coaster ride leave such a young child with a severe spinal cord injury that would last a lifetime? This is the unfortunate tale of the tragic yet subtle Gulliver's World incident. Picture this. You're 12 years old with a heart full of excitement and anticipation. You've been waiting and preparing for this day for such a long time, and you couldn't wait to explore the amazing theme park that was Gulliver's World. Everything was going great until you boarded a doomed roller coaster that would seal your fate and leave you scarred for life. The sun shone brightly, indicating what seemed like the perfect day for fun at the theme park. Infectious laughter and exhilarating screams reverberated through the air, creating an atmosphere of pure joy. Everywhere you looked, there were gleaming smiles and wide-eyed anticipation, particularly from the children. In the middle of all this happiness, we find young Emma, her heart fluttering with the wild excitement only a 12-year-old could experience in such a place. At the center of the vibrant theme park stood the Antelope, an imposing wooden roller coaster whose majestic structure exuded an irresistible allure. It has since entertained millions, with its ups and downs becoming an integral part of countless memories. Yet little did anyone know the ominous chapter it was about to add to its history. To a child like Emma, the Antelope was the epitome of thrill. Standing there, she craned her neck to gaze at the towering ride. Her heart pounded, keeping rhythm with the clatter of the roller coaster's wheels. As her wide-eyed gaze rested on the minimum height requirement sign, a thrill shot through her. She had barely made it, but she had. With the thrill of anticipation coursing through her veins and guided by a cheerful attendant, she took her place in the last carriage. Her hands gripped the cold safety bar and her heartbeat echoed in her ears. It was the seat that promised the wildest ride. Unknown to her, it was a decision that would drastically alter the course of her life. But what exactly transpired during that fateful ride? As the carriage lurched forward, Emma clutched her safety belt, her fingers tightly wrapped around the cool steel bar. With a shudder and a creak, the Antelope came to life, beginning its customary climb. The rhythmic clattering of the wheels on the wooden tracks echoed in the air, each click increasing the suspense as the peak neared. Every rider was momentarily suspended in time, their hearts pounding in sync with the mechanical heartbeat of the Antelope. The higher the carriage climbed, the more expansive the park view below. But then, with a brief pause at the peak, the world stilled. For one fleeting moment, there was calm. And then, with a rush of air and a roar of wheels, the descent began. As the roller coaster swooped down at breakneck speed, screams of thrill filled the air. But these screams held a note of excitement and a sense of abandonment that made the heart pump harder and the adrenaline rush fiercer. The wind whipped their faces, pinning them to their seats. The G-force was potent, adding an extra layer of thrill to the ride. As the roller coaster began its breathtaking journey, navigating a series of rapid twists and turns with dizzying speed, something began to feel amiss. An unsettling jerk, a disturbing rattle not in sync with the rhythm of the ride, a whisper of something not quite right that grew louder with each passing second. The usual expected thrills were replaced by strong, irregular oscillations. The swift forward and backward jolts were violent, a strange deviation from the norm. In the last carriage, Emma felt the brute force of these oscillations more intensely. Her small body, safely secured by the seatbelt, was jerked violently forward and back, her head whipping in response to the extreme motion. It was an unexpected, violent dance with the laws of physics, and in the span of these chaotic 56 seconds, a chilling sensation seeped into the thrill of the ride. The joy of a day at the theme park took a sinister turn, but what was the immediate aftermath of this disturbing occurrence? The lingering buzz of adrenaline vanished as Emma got off the ride, and a nagging discomfort took its place. The sharp whip of her head on the Antelope had left a throbbing ache in her neck. The pain echoed through her spine with every step she took. Yet, attributing it to the jarring thrills of the roller coaster, she tried to shake it off, refusing to let it dampen the day's joy. However, as the minutes stretched into hours, the pain in her neck and back grew significantly. She didn't go on any further rides. Her condition deteriorated. She could feel her body betraying her. The pain intensified and became a constant, unignorable presence. Upon arriving home, the severity of the situation became undeniable. She vomited as a result of her body's reaction to the pain. The once excited, vibrant 12-year-old was now unable to stand or support herself. This was no ordinary fatigue from a day of thrills and excitement at a theme park. This was something far more concerning. A trip to the hospital and an MRI scan confirmed the distressing truth. The intense jolts on the Antelope had left an indelible mark on Emma. The scans revealed a severe spinal cord injury, a devastating revelation that struck not only Emma but also her entire family. The joyous day had turned into a nightmare, and the nightmare was just beginning. How did a day filled with so much promise end in such tragedy? What could have possibly gone wrong? As if time had stopped, Emma's life became a series of agonizing days and sleepless nights. The hours seemed to stretch into infinity, each passing day marked by pain, uncertainty, and a desperate hope for healing. For 5 long months, Emma remained confined within the sterile hospital walls, 6 weeks of which were spent at a specialist spinal injury unit. Every day she faced a barrage of tests, treatments, and evaluations. The steady hum of medical machinery became a haunting lullaby, a constant reminder of her new reality. Doctors and nurses moved in and out of her life with the regularity of clockwork, and with each passing day, the heart-wrenching truth became harder to deny. The spinal cord injury was severe and the damage extensive. The diagnosis soon followed, a verdict too difficult to grasp, paralyzed from the waist down. The words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of shattered dreams and altered futures. For a girl who just months before had been teeming with life and joy, it was a crushing blow. Emma, the vibrant, lively girl, was now wheelchair-bound. In the face of adversity, Emma's family made a brave decision. If this tragedy had happened to their beloved daughter, who was to say it wouldn't happen to others? They couldn't let the story end here. They chose to fight for justice, fight for Emma. And so a different kind of roller coaster ride began, the legal battle. Their destination? The courtroom of the High Court, a place where stories are heard, facts are scrutinized, and judgments are made. The Nelid family, armed with nothing but determination, truth, and a sense of justice, took on Gulliver's world. Amidst court dates and legal jargon, they stood strong, fighting for Emma's future. Their argument? The Antelope thrill ride, despite its allure and fame, was a danger to children. The legal team built a case around Emma's experience. The seating arrangements, the seat belts, these were inadequate safety measures for a child of Emma's stature, they argued. Even though Emma had passed the minimum height requirement, the ride had failed to protect her. It was the forceful oscillations and jerking movements that had caused Emma's head to whip back and forth, leading to the devastating spinal cord injury. And what was the response of Gulliver's world to these grave allegations? A staunch denial. The theme park stood its ground and disputed any link between Emma's disability and her ride on the Antelope. In this sea of accusations and denials, a question loomed large. Who was at fault? To date, there is no information on whether the case was settled, dismissed, or if there was a verdict. The ride had lasted just 56 seconds, but its repercussions had lasted much longer. The emotional whirlwind extended far beyond the theme park. Life took an abrupt and unexpected turn for Emma after the accident. What was once easy, like a joyous roller coaster ride on a sunny day, became a challenge. Emma, who once ran and played like any other child, found herself confined to a wheelchair, her world drastically altered. From the smallest task to the most mundane activity, Emma needed a helping hand. But in these challenging times, the spirit of resilience shone brightly. Physiotherapy sessions became a routine part of Emma's life. Each session was a battle, a testament to her grit and determination. The pain was constant, but so was the hope. With each passing day, feeling and movement began to trickle back. The dream was clear. Emma would walk again. Through this turbulent journey, Sandra Nelid, Emma's mother, became the family's rock. Speaking of their ordeal, Sandra's words were an embodiment of a mother's strength and love. Their world was turned upside down. A normal working-class family was thrown into an alien reality. There is no quick fix to their predicament. The path to recovery was going to be long. But with Emma's spirit and the family's unwavering support, they held on to hope. The hope that one day things would change. One day, Emma would walk again. Our journey through Emma's life-altering incident ends here, but the echoes of this tragedy continue to reverberate in the lives of Emma and her family. As viewers, we are left with the unsettling realization that a day of thrills and laughter turned into a lifetime of challenges for a young girl. What happened to Emma could happen to anyone. It's a sobering thought that asks us to rethink our choices and to demand better safety regulations not just at theme parks, but everywhere.